26. Bwana PCS, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi. Exactly 15 years ago, we were in this institution for the 17th AMECEA Plenary Assembly while celebrating the 50th anniversary since the foundation of AMECEA, the Association of Member Episcopal Conferences in Eastern Africa. 15 years on, we are back to this same institution at the Catholic University of Eastern Africa. The semblance between AMECEA and CUEA, at least at the end of the two terms, acronyms, is unmistakable. To say AMECEA and to say CUEA. And I'm confident the semblance was intended. A snapshot at the topics discussed during the plenary assemblies of AMECEA revealed to any attentive listener that the church in the region is no stranger to the lived situations of the people to whom and among whom she ministers. Allow me to take you just 25 years back, 24. In Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, during the 14th Plenary Assembly in 2002, our attention was drawn to the theme, Deeper Evangelization in the New Millennium. And then in Mukono, Uganda, during the 15th Plenary Assembly in 2005, we reflected on responding to the challenge of HIV/AIDS in AMECEA region. In Lusaka, Zambia, during the 16th Plenary Assembly in 2008, we reflected on reconciliation through justice and peace, and that resonates very well with even this country of ours, Kenya. And in the year 2011, in Nairobi, Kenya, during the 17th Plenary Assembly, our theme was AMECEA, Family of God, celebrating the Golden Jubilee of Evangelization in Solidarity. In Lilongwe, Malawi, during the 18th Plenary Assembly in 2014, we dwelt on new evangelization through true conversion and witnessing to Christian faith. In Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, during the 19th Plenary Assembly in 2018, we reflected on vibrant diversity, equal dignity, peaceful unity in God in the AMECEA region. In these themes, it is clear, just from the 24 years I've mentioned, that AMECEA is very much alive to and in rhythm with the lived experiences of the people in the region. It bears testimony to the truth that the joys of the people we serve are our joys. Their sorrows, our sorrows. Their aspirations, our aspirations. Their struggles, our struggles. In all this, we endeavor to anchor our reflection and the people's aspirations in that hope that never dies. We keep alive in society God's image in which we are all created. We remind ourselves that here we have no lasting city, but we seek the one that is to come. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 14. Human life aspires to a greatness bigger than this world. And as St. Augustine reminds us, our heart remains restless until it rests in God. It is no wonder then that we gather here to reflect on a topic that is of singular concern today, not just in the region, but in the whole world, the young people and our care for them. The theme, AMECEA Synodal Journey with Young People, Building Bridges of Communion, Hope, Justice, and Good Governance. With this theme, AMECEA wants to listen more attentively to what the Spirit is telling us through the vibrance and vitality that comes with youthful society. Not to pay attention to youthful society not only smacks of recklessness, but is also tragically irresponsible. May the Lord open our minds and our hearts as we deliberate on this theme during our assembly. Welcome to Nairobi.
Thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause, our Archbishop Maurice Muhatia of Kenya. It is my honor at this moment to invite our chairman of AMECEA, Bishop Charles Kasonde, to also kindly come and deliver his remarks. Kindly, Your Lordship.
Your Excellency, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs. Your Eminence, Michael Cardinal Cheney, Prefect for the Promotion of Integral Human Development. May I rely on the elaborative protocol that was stated by Archbishop Muhatia. It is my great joy on behalf of the Association of the Member Episcopal Conferences in Eastern Africa to welcome you, Your Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, to this official opening of our 21st Plenary Assembly. Your presence honors not only this gathering, but the millions of the Catholic faithful across Sudan, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Malawi, and Zambia, whom we all represent in here as delegates. We are grateful to the people and government of Kenya for so warmly hosting this assembly and for affirming once again Kenya's place as a home of dialogue, hospitality for our region. Under the theme AMECEA's Journey with the Youth, Building Bridges of Communion, Hope, Justice, and Good Governance, the bishops, the religious men and women, the priests, our lay faithful, and all our special and invited guests gather with thousands of young people from across Eastern Africa. For sure, we have gathered here this week to reflect on the pressing needs of our societies and to renew our shared commitment to peace, justice, and good governance in our nations. Your Excellency, your presence at this opening ceremony is of primal importance and also an assurance of our commitment to working with you, the government of Kenya, in particular, where our headquarters for AMECEA is situated, and also a way of ensuring the partnership between the church and the state in the service of our people is cherished and also considered of primal importance. We look to this assembly to strengthen this partnership and to the coming week of deliberation to bear fruit for the good of the church and the nations we serve. It is now my honor and privilege to invite the Governor of Nairobi to extend his greetings to the delegates of this plenary assembly and thereafter invite you, Your Excellency, to deliver your address and addressing the assembly here present. I thank you and I wish you God's blessings.
Thank you very much. Prime Cabinet Secretary, Your Excellency Musalia Mudavadi, Your Eminences, Your Graces, Bishops, brothers and sisters in Christ, allow me to associate myself with the protocol already established. Welcome to Nairobi. Welcome to Nairobi. I am really honored. I have never been in a room with so many bishops. And I have a good feeling about this room. Your Excellency, the last time I was in this room was during the gubernatorial debate before the election of 2022. And I won. And so now when we add the blessing, and I don't know what happened, I was in the theme, I didn't know the colors go together with the purple. I feel that blessing will be there also today. I'm greatly honored. Thank you really for honoring us with your presence in Nairobi. We are happy that you're here from across the region. And I'm glad to join you in this conversation on synodality and the young people. I personally have had a journey in leadership as a young person. And I believe your theme is very, very relevant to the experience that our region is going through today. As governor of Nairobi, I spend my days managing a city where literally more than half of the people I serve have not yet reached their 22nd birthday. Across our region, the median age is young. The median age in Uganda is 16 years, meaning more than half of the people have not reached the age of 16. The median age of Zambia is 18.4. The median age in Kenya is 21. South Sudan, 18. Tanzania, 19. Malawi, 20 years old. Ethiopia, 20.4. Eritrea, 21.3. So quite literally, the statistic that I've just mentioned is really framing the discussion that we're having. It is more than half of those who fill the pews in every parish represented over here. It is a defining fact for our region. If you split any parish within this region in half by age, one half would still be in school. I want to share two things from my own work in governance. I got into leadership pretty young, while at the university, through student leadership. And many times people questioned, and I wish I can get an opportunity, because I'm told you have very many young people around, to also share with them a few nuggets. I was at age 19, when I started in President Mwai Kibaki's campaign, that time in the referendum. At age 21, I was already working with, the government at that time while still in school. I became the chairman of Kenya's ruling party at age 27. It was called the National Alliance, if you remember. And it was challenging. I was in charge of people older than my dad, and they would look like, what does this young guy know? I became member of parliament at age 32. No, 28. I became senator, and Bishop, you were right. I've been a senator longer. I became senator at age 32 and governor at age 38. And God willing, if I finish this next term, I'll be only 47, having done 2 terms as governor. Based on the blessing in the room, purely based on the blessing in the room. We are speaking at a time that is so critical, because we have millions of young people in our region who have been disciplined by harsh economic times, who many times do not have hope, many times are looking at their elder siblings who are jobless. We must deal with their unemployment, but the church must still continue to be the salt of the earth. The church must still continue to be that place of solace that holds us together. And allow me to really deeply, as governor of this city and as a leader, to thank the Catholic Church, because the Catholic Church, its presence alone in Nairobi has really helped keep things together. From your schools, your institutions, your contribution in health, your contribution in all sectors, it cannot go unnoticed. And we're really hoping that we can continue a deep partnership to reach these young people. The first thing that I learned was listening before building. The young people today are unwilling first to be defined by those overquoted statistics. They want something real and tangible. They don't want you to give them curated solutions that you found somewhere. They want to build together. And I've seen that practically happening in the city. Whenever we've had regulations, whenever we've had, in fact, recently we've just done our development control policy on physical planning. It was really enriched by our young people. I always talk about this yellow watch that I wear. I think many of you from Kenya may know what it symbolizes. Before I became governor, 1 out of 4 children were not going to school in Nairobi because of urban hunger, due to urban poverty. And we said, let's create a solution with our young people. This is not a fancy watch. It is a digital solution created by young people in Nairobi, where after having seen the problem of hunger, we built 17 kitchens to provide meals. Today we feed 320,000 children every single day, and they all wear this watch, which is a digital tap to eat. From this device alone, I can tell you how many children have gone to school today, what they have eaten, how many have eaten, and it is bringing hope to this generation. That 40% are now coming to school who are not going to school. That is building bridges, that is building hope in a generation. And it's one of the areas, and I'm glad I saw Mr. Russo here from KCB. It is one of the areas where we agreed to partner, and I hope we can also partner with the church. You can imagine these children do not even finish their food. They take it back home to their siblings. You can imagine that parent who wakes up not knowing whether they will get a job. Maybe they work in a construction site, or there are mafuas who are waiting to wash clothes. Today they have hope that whether or not they get a gig, whether or not they get a job, their child has eaten. It has changed the performance in the last 3 years because we've been consistent from 2023. Not a single day has been missed. The performance in our schools today are the best performing in the country. The attendance is 100%. No child misses school. And I'm sure when you walk out in the streets today, you will not see street children when schools are on. What Bona PCS you'll help me with is the holidays. The parents are now worried because during the holidays, the school feeding program is not there. And I'm sure if we work out something, we can still create with the church as well to bring back hope to this generation. That is just an example. The second is about hope made tangible. I feel the church knows this instinctively. That in a society of young people, when the people feel safe, when the people feel taken care of, when the people feel that they can trust, then you have a society that really is something to look forward to, that everybody is at peace. We have a challenge today, because many of these disillusioned young people, and I keep saying, the biggest security challenge in our region is not Al-Shabaab, it is not Al-Qaeda, it is millions of disillusioned, disengaged young people, and we've seen them being misused locally by politicians, by my colleagues, and many times even some of us are blamed. And we really must come strong as a church to bring back sanity and to stop that idea of goonism, political misuse of these young people. Let us give them hope. I'm very happy that our president has programs that he has lined up that actually address that urgency of day-to-day engagement of these young people to create jobs. As I move to conclude, I really must thank you that, this theme, when I hear this theme, communion, hope, justice, good governance, Bishop, I don't hear 4 separate ideas. I hear a sequence. Communion is what happens when we listen. Hope is what grows when communion is followed by action. Justice is hope made structural. And good governance, wherever it is, whether it is in the church, whether it is in government, whether it is in business, whether it is in the private sector, good governance is simply the discipline of making sure that that sequence does not break down. I want to encourage the young people, because I know they're listening, that leadership is not position, it is influence. That the young people who are the trustees of our countries and our region's posterity really need to know that they can do it today. We used to be called leaders of tomorrow, we're leaders today. I want to ask the bishops, as you go back to your countries, please send a message of hope to the young people. The young people today are more connected than ever before. They are driven by, the digital world. They can follow us from wherever they are. They have that connection. We're living in a global village defined by information technology. And all they need is to know that they can call on the church, that they can call on leadership to change the future of our region. Finally, bishops, allow me to extend a welcome. Beyond this, Nairobi is beautiful. Nairobi is not just Catholic University. We have a national park right next to you. The only national park in a capital city, where you can see animals in their live, untouched, unspoiled habitat. And the backdrop of the capital city is behind you. Please visit there. But beyond that, I want to invite you. If you're wearing what you're wearing, or you can show that you're in this conference, you are welcome to any hotel in Nairobi, any restaurant in Nairobi. But you'll only need to do 3 things. When you go to the hotel, have as much as you want. Drink, eat, have our local delicacies, nyama choma, have ugali, please, githeri, as much as you want. Number 2, if anybody asks you, tell them the governor of Nairobi sent you there. Tell them the governor of Nairobi sent you there. And number 3, please pay your own bill when you're done with that bill. Please feel welcome to Nairobi. We're honored to have you. May God bless all of you. Thank you. Your Graces, Eminences, allow me at this point to ask us to welcome His Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, to give his remarks. Karibuni. Yes. Is it okay here? It's okay.
Please be seated. Your Eminence, the Cardinals, Your Grace, the Most Reverend Philip Anyolo, Archbishop of Nairobi, the Right Reverend Charles Kasonde, Chairman of the Association of Member Episcopal Conference in Eastern Africa, and Bishop of Sulawesi Diocese, Zambia, the Most Reverend Maurice Muhatia, the Chairman of the Kenya Conference of the Catholic Bishops, and the Archbishop of Kisumu, the Very Reverend Professor Stephen Gare, the Rector and Vice Chancellor of the Catholic University of Eastern Africa, Your Excellencies Bishops and the Reverend Clergy, Your Excellencies the High Commissioners and Ambassadors, and also Madam Bangura, my colleagues in public office, Lee Kinyanjui, Governor Sakaja, and the Principal Secretaries present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Now that we know that there's no free lunch in Nairobi, we'll have to be very cautious on where we go. At the outset, I take this opportunity to thank the Kenya Conference of the Catholic Bishops for the gracious invitation to join you today. I congratulate the bishops on the successful hosting of the 21st Plenary Assembly of the Association of Member Episcopal Conferences in Eastern Africa, here in Nairobi. I further commend the chairman of the Plenary Assembly Preparatory Committee, the Most Reverend Anthony Moheria, and his team for their excellent preparations culminating in this memorable ceremony. It is an honor to represent His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, at this important assembly of the Catholic Church in our region. On behalf of His Excellency, the President, the government, and the people of Kenya, I convey warm greetings and best wishes and reaffirm our heartfelt solidarity with the Catholic fraternity. Since its establishment in 1961 as the Interterritorial Episcopal Board of Eastern Africa, ETEBER, the Association of Member Episcopal Conferences in Eastern Africa remains one of the region's premier organizations, contributing to regional integration, peace, and socio-economic development. Kenya commends the Plenary Assembly for timely focus on the pressing social, political, and pastoral realities of Eastern Africa. The special focus of this year's Plenary Assembly on youth mentorship, peace building, and governance reinforces our collective efforts to empower young people, promote good governance, and advance peace and security in the region. Unfortunately, conflicts across Africa continue to claim lives, fuel mass displacement, and deny millions of children their right to education. In the East and Horn of Africa alone, ongoing violent conflicts have today forcibly displaced over 20 million people. The United Nations estimates that as of June 2026, that is just last month, approximately 118 million children in Africa were out of school due to violent conflict and climate change emergencies. In Sudan, for example, the UNHCR reports that around 14 million people have been displaced since the war erupted in 2023, creating the world's largest displacement crisis. Nearly half of all schools are no longer operational, disrupting the education of approximately 13 million children. This has put the future of an entire generation at risk. Sudan's humanitarian crisis demands sustained collective action. I encourage the Church to join in the continued mobilization of greater international attention to the plight of the Sudanese people, especially children. At this juncture, we pay special tribute to the late His Holiness Pope Francis for his personal commitment to advancing peace and reconciliation in South Sudan. The Catholic Church remains a trusted actor in peace building across Africa, including its notable peace efforts in the Democratic Republic of Congo. In doing so, the Church perpetuates the message of our Lord Jesus Christ in John chapter 14, verse 27, often proclaimed in the Catholic liturgy, "Peace I leave with you, and my peace I give you." This is a peace that goes beyond mere absence of conflict to a deeper reconciliation, unity, and hope. Moreover, the Catholic Church has made immense contribution to our country's socioeconomic development, including schools, hospitals, tertiary colleges, and institutions of higher learning. Evidently, the relationship between peace, good governance, and development is mutually reinforcing. Lasting peace is the bedrock for development and good governance. In turn, good governance sustains peace and advances equitable development, while equitable development strengthens both peace and good governance. It is difficult to advance any one of these in the absence of the others. His Excellency President William Ruto continues to spearhead equitable development across the country, to champion regional peace and security, and to place young people at the heart of the government's priorities. We welcome the focus of the 2026 Plenary Assembly on youth mentorship. It reflects our convergence of purpose to empower young people across the region to secure shared intergenerational prosperity. The Kenya government continues to empower youth through investment in education, skills development, entrepreneurship, and job creation. A key initiative is the 20 billion National Youth Opportunities Towards Advancement, commonly known as NYOTA project, implemented in partnership with the World Bank. The project will empower over 800,000 young people through business grants, digital training, apprenticeships, and organized savings under the National Social Security Fund. I will leave my speech here, and I have attached a very short statistical annex outlining the government's investments in youths and education. To the young delegates gathered here today, you are the voice, energy, and future of our continent. Your participation in this assembly is a commitment to making a positive contribution to society. Let your ideas inspire innovation and your actions promote peace. Likewise, I urge you to remain morally responsible. While Kenya has recorded an overall decline in HIV infections, young people aged 15 to 34 still account for more than half of all new infections. Again, I have attached a data annex to my statement for further discourse in this plenary. I call upon our young people in Kenya and across the region to reject violence, divisive politics, and tribalism. No young and promising life should be sacrificed for political expedience. Elections will come and go, but our nation's unity, stability, and future must endure for generations to come. Effective democracy extends beyond elections to the delivery of tangible results by the elected leaders. As a recent survey by the Now Generation Network reveals, a majority of young people in Africa assess democracy not only by electoral cycles, but also by strong institutions, accountability, the rule of law, economic equity, the fight against corruption, rejection of unconstitutional changes of government, and meaningful improvements in people's lives. I encourage the youth to embrace digital technology and be our champions in AI innovation. Equally, I urge you to exercise personal responsibility online, ensuring that the social media activities safeguards rather than jeopardizes opportunities such as scholarships, visas, and employment. And I speak now wearing the official hat of Foreign Minister. We are seeing increasingly young people being denied an opportunity to further their ambitions and their desires because somewhere along the line, their social media platforms have undesirable content. Please be careful. You could lose your scholarship. You could lose your opportunity elsewhere. Even in sports recently, a young referee from the continent of Africa was denied his role in the FIFA World Cup because there was undesirable content on his social platform. So it is real. Accordingly, we appreciate the timely message of Pope Leo XIV on safeguarding humanity, promoting truth, the dignity of work, social justice, and peace in the time of artificial intelligence. Kenya looks forward to working with His Holiness in advancing shared values. The Church remains a valued partner in diplomacy. The sessional paper number 1 of 2025 on Kenya's foreign policy recognizes religious organizations as key partners in advancing Kenya's foreign policy objectives. In this regard, we thank the apostolic nuncios for their role in strengthening Kenya's diplomatic relations with the Holy See. Kenya has established a resident mission to the Holy See with President Ruto appointing a practicing Catholic as our first ambassador. Notably, since the attaining of independence in 1963, Kenya has been honored by the pastoral visits of Pope John Paul II in 1980, 1985, and 1995, and Pope Francis in 2015. Likewise, President Ruto met Pope Francis during the G7 summit in Italy in June 2024. In April 2025, he traveled directly from his state visit to China to attend the late Pontiff's Requiem Mass in Vatican City. Kenya's partnership with the Catholic Church remains strong from the highest levels of leadership to parishes across the country. As we continue to pray for the beatification of the servant of God, Cardinal Otunga, former Archbishop of Nairobi, we also celebrate the beatification of missionaries on Kenyan soil, including the Blessed Irene Stephanie, fondly known as Nyada, whose beatification in Nyeri in 2015 was the first ever held in Eastern Africa, and the Blessed Maria Carola, beatified in Meru in 2022. Finally, I commend the leadership and management of the Catholic University of Eastern Africa for successfully hosting this important regional conference. Your capacity to host high-level gatherings is contributing to Kenya's conferencing diplomacy, positioning the country as a preferred destination for meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions, commonly known as MICE. I encourage you to continue enhancing your capacities and services in tandem with Nairobi's growing role as an international diplomatic hub. As we look to the future, we remain committed to the partnership with the Catholic Church in its apostolic mission of building bridges of communion, hope, justice, and good governance for the benefit of our nation, region, and humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to walk off the podium. But let me just point out a few things. I was challenged by the governor's youthful journey. For purpose of the youth who are listening, I had my own adventure as well. I became minister in the government of Kenya at the age of 28, and a member of parliament at that age. I then became a minister for finance at the age of 33. So I helped shape the economy of this country. And I served for 5 years in that portfolio. So you can do it. It's not impossible. For the young people, you can do it. Remain focused, remain disciplined, consult widely, be very careful, because I met a diplomat who said there's one word or one phrase young people never like hearing. And I asked, what phrase is that? And he said, just be a little patient. That simple phrase to the young people, just be a little patient. It will make a big difference in your lives and in your future. The other thing that I want to point out is that I've been asking lately, and there could be no better forum than this, that what is the economic value of peace? And I'm choosing my words carefully because I'm not asking you about the economic value of an airport or the economic value of a road or the economic value of a new railway line. I'm asking you, young people, what is the economic value of peace? How do you quantify peace? Because we have seen with the crisis in the Middle East and in Europe, even the most beautiful airports have become ghost buildings. Even the most elaborate infrastructure cannot be utilized just because one critical ingredient is missing: peace. So, what is the economic value of peace? Here at home, perhaps I may be wrong, but in recent times, I would say that one of our most devastating moments, one of our darkest moments, was the post-election violence that ensued after 2007-8 elections. We lost 1,400 young people to violence. Violence from Goonism, violence from bullets, both ways. Politically instigated violence. I had the opportunity with others, both in opposition and in government, including President William Ruto. We spent 42 days at Serena under the chairmanship of the late Kofi Annan, the late Benjamin Mkapa of Tanzania, and Her Excellency Gracia Machel, the wife of Nelson Mandela, brokering peace in this country. And from there emerged the 2010 Constitution. From that conversation. A constitution that is today dubbed as perhaps the most progressive constitution within the region in recent times. Let us reform. Let us change. Let us build our nations. Let us bring peace. But let us avoid bloodshed. The church that I address today, you have a big footprint in the region. Open the back channels. It's a very powerful tool in diplomacy. Open the back channels. talk to the warring and conflicting parties, get them to sit under one roof, on the same table, and stop the violence. We rely on you, we depend on you. We cannot operate without you. We are conjoined at the hip. We just have to walk together. So I thank you all, asanteni sana, and I now declare the 21st Plenary Assembly of the Association of Member Episcopal Conference in East Africa officially open. God bless you.
Kindly let us applaud our chief guest once more. Let's give him a good standing ovation and applause. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Prime Cabinet Secretary, you can take your seat just for a moment. We are grateful, Your Excellency, Prime Cabinet Secretary, for your message, and this message which we also wish to share with our religious leaders here present and other partners here present. Kindly convey our gratitude to His Excellency the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, and be assured that in this challenge you have thrown to us as church, we will deliberate and take it to heart. I would wish at this stage to invite the final national anthem, and at that moment, Your Excellency, you are free to interact a bit with the guests on the desk. Then we will move to the front for the photo session. The delegates will be here, and they will receive some announcement once we have exited the hall. Thank you once more to all our distinguished guests. A round of applause to them all. And we also recognize, since we didn't at the beginning, Your Excellency the Governor. Thank you very much for honoring us. Kindly let us be standing for the national anthem.
Open the back channels.
We'll ask the bishops and archbishops chairman to be out in the front for the photo. We will move on the back. You join us as we are taking the commemorative photo together with the other delegates, but it will take a bit of time as you move out. Thank you.